during an ongoing investigation looking for a known felon who was armed and dangerous, committing robberies, Newsday obtained information inappropriately regarding those investigations. They put online specific details regarding an ongoing investigation looking for an individual who had been committing robberies and is known to be violent. They were immediately contacted and asked to please remove that information. And rather than removing it, they put it in a more prominent spot in their online edition in order to draw attention to the information. That behavior is unconscionable and created an environment in which officers who were actively surveilling the individual at the time were compromised. Moreover, that the potential of a flight risk was increased, the individual knowing that he was being investigated, and all but his name was put in the paper at that point. If that individual had not been apprehended immediately, he would have posed an immediate danger to the public and to the officers who would be attempting to apprehend him at that time. This is not about any individual reporter, but this is more about Newsday itself and their editors and their criteria in which they use to select how they release this information. Simply delaying the release of that would not have caused the public or their readership to suffer any loss. They could have very easily had printed it the next day without causing this hazardous situation. And what we're calling on is all of the media. You need to check your criteria on how you release information. There needs to be a checks and balances onto what's important, whether it be your sales or is it the safety of the officers and the individuals. Circulation does not supersede safety, and that needs to be addressed and corrected immediately. Specifically, on this case, information such as the individual's area in which they lived, vehicle in which was used, age, and other information was specifically outlined. Anyone who had looked at that would have immediately known it was them. This is a very significant problem, and we need everyone to address it in a professional fashion. We're calling on the district attorney to investigate this issue, not the issue of the media printing something and putting it out, but the confidential intelligence report that was released to the media was not released legally. And however that was released out, we're asking the district attorney to assist the police department in that investigation and to ensure that issues such as this do not occur again in the future.
So obviously very, very concerned that a very confidential document, and we have determined what the document is. I'll show you the phrase sheet. Right on the very bottom, this was apparently obtained by a reporter from a local newspaper. It says, for official use only, law enforcement sensitive. So certainly, in my view, the reporter that received that information knew that that information was not to be disclosed. In my view, the reporter absolutely disregarded that, and probably higher-ups in the newspaper that she worked for disregarded it as well. The danger, quite frankly, here is that we had a surveillance. We had narcotics detectives, undercover police, patrol officers, saturating the area. We now knew who it was. We were awaiting critical information in order to, A, obtain search warrants, and B, to use in questioning these people. And what happened was that particular newspaper account virtually told these defendants that we knew who they were. It talked about where they lived, it talked about the body shop, it talked about the fact that cars were being used, switched plates, and other information. We also know now, we didn't know then, but that was our obvious concern. This was on the internet, okay? We also know that indeed Marino, because he saw a photograph in the media, they were monitoring the accounts of the media. Had they seen that, had they walked out of that location, remember again, the police thought this was a .45 caliber weapon. And that's what I said before. Had either one of them made a bad move, the results could have been very, very different. Not only for the individuals, passerbys, who knows what would have happened.
But
Let me finish.
I'm sorry.
As it turns out, the police department, the commissioner, I think it was the chief of detectives, asked the commissioner to simply do this. Would that newspaper, would they just pull that from the internet for a brief period of time? An arrest was going to be made imminent. They were advised that this is a dangerous situation. Would you please pull it from the internet? Well, the media that particular media did something worse. They put it in a far more prominent position. And I don't understand why they would do that. I just don't understand. As I recall from my conversations with the commissioner, there was not only a telephone call alerting them to these dangers, but there was a follow-up email to the media, again urging them, outlining this is a dangerous situation. You'll certainly get the scoop. I have people, I'm looking around here. We have done it in the DA's office. We've done it on other occasions. Rarely, thank God. We've asked you to cooperate with us, hold your story, you'll get the scoop, because you've done a good job. However, they didn't do that. They made it worse. And that's what's so upsetting to them. That's what's so upsetting to the police unions. And I can tell you from what I know, there are 4,000 or 5,000 cops in Suffolk County, living in Suffolk County. Probably even more than that, those that work in the city. There are a lot of people that are really, really, really mad. And this, to me, I've been around the law enforcement community. I started in December of 1971, okay? I've never seen anything like this, never. And thankfully, to all of you, except one, whoever is here from that media, you've been cooperative with us. And I think you can all understand the concern with the police. Remember, that person, that reporter, it says, for official use only, law enforcement sensitive. That reporter had to know whoever gave that to the reporter had committed a crime.